A recent investigation done by Australian media revealed that the Chinese Communist Party is taking advantage of the loopholes in Australian laws. The CCP secretly recruited dozens of Australian top investigative scholars to join the 1,000 Talents Plan or other recruitment programs. This news shocked the Australian government. Many federal members have called on the Australian Parliament to conduct an investigation. On August 24th, The Australian, a broadsheet newspaper published in Australia, revealed a list of 32 scientists, including 4 non-Chinese scientists who were recruited by the CCP into the 1,000 Talents Plan and other similar recruitment programs with high salaries. The research of these scholars covers highly sophisticated fields such as artificial intelligence and quantum technology, from the top Australian universities and research institutions. While being employed in Australia, they frequently returned to China and applied for patents in China. Some of them have as many as 30 patents.
For instance, there are at least 5 people from the University of New South Wales on this list. Some of these professors receive 12 million AUD a year in funding from the Australian government. To the CCP, it is like spending a small amount of money to benefit individual researchers who will sell the results of their research for far more money than it offered. To Australia, having a group of scholars like these is simply equivalent to betraying national interest.
According to the contract of the 1,000 Talents Plan obtained by the media, the final results of the research done by these scientists belong to the CCP, and they are not allowed to disclose their identity as a member of the program without permission. The investigation indicated that many Australian universities are clueless about how many of their employees are actually participants of the 1,000 Talents Plan, whether they are applying for patents in China, or whether they are being paid a second salary by the CCP. Many universities even defended these people. For example, University of Technology Sydney denied that its professor Wang Guoshou is a member of the 1,000 Talents Plan. When asked about why Wang Guoshou had been repeatedly nominated as a scholar in the 1,000 Talents Plan on the websites of Chinese universities, the spokesperson of the UTS said that the terminology was used as a sign of respect akin to the term distinguished professors. When presented with the evidence of 11 patents Wang submitted in China, the UTS said Professor Wang has no knowledge of 10 out of the 11 patent applications referenced. The 11th patent application is known to the university and results from a funded research collaboration. Professor Wang has contacted the relevant parties to ask that his name be taken off these applications. In 2016, Chen Yonglin, a former Chinese diplomat, warned that the CCP has transformed Australia into its backyard. Now he once again warns the Australian government and universities to take the 1,000 Talents Plan more seriously and stop all high-level science and technology collaboration with the CCP. In May, Australian Security Intelligence Organisation warned all universities that the CCP's recruitment programs could jeopardize national security and that collaboration would turn into espionage. In his speech in July, Christopher Wray, the director of the U.S. FBI, described the 1,000 Talents Plan as economic espionage that threatens national security in the West. The U.S. has arrested many Chinese scientists who are participants of the program. A security source indicated that no Australian agency is in charge of investigating this issue and that currently the Australian government is not monitoring the number of scientists and scholars who are funded by taxpayers participating in the 1,000 Talents Plan. After the news broke, Andrew Hastie, the chair of Parliament's Joint Intelligence Committee, called for a Parliament inquiry. He said that the report disclosed how national research and intellectual property was plundered by the CCP. Anthony Byrne, a member of the Australian Labor Party and the deputy chairman of the Parliamentary Joint Committee on Intelligence and Security, said that the report has shocked Australians who are concerned about the country's sovereignty and that it is totally unacceptable for Australian universities to turn a blind eye to the actions of these academics. Feng Chong-yi, a professor at the University of Technology Sydney, indicated that what the media revealed was only the tip of an iceberg. For the longest time, Australia, the United States, and many European countries have been defenseless against the CCP and have encouraged collaboration in scientific research. The reason why the CCP's recruitment programs are now the center of attention is because there is a significant change in its relations with various countries, particularly with the United States.
Because it is a member of the Five Eyes, Australia, Canada, and the US are completely open to sharing scientific research. So by obtaining technology from Australia, the CCP also gets the same level of technology as the US. Now it has been revealed because of a fundamental change in the image and position of the CCP in democratic countries.
Recently, Alex Josk, a researcher of Australian Strategic Policy Institute, published an investigative report Hunting the Phoenix to disclose the CCP's 600 secret recruitment stations and 1,000 talents plan that are used to illegally obtain technology in the West. Currently, the CCP has set up 57 talent recruitment stations in Australia and has recruited more than 1,000 top Australian academics.
On August 28th, the U.S. Department of Justice said multi-level marketing giant Herbalife Nutrition Limited has agreed to $123 million to settle federal charges that it bribed Chinese officials to advance its business in China. The department said that Herbalife, a Los Angeles-based multi-level marketing company that sells health and dietary supplements, admitted to engaging in a decade-long scheme to bribe Chinese officials and falsifying its books to conceal such payments. The company entered into a 3-year deferred prosecution agreement in which it admitted to conspiring to violate the books and records provision of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, an anti-bribery law. It also reached a parallel agreement with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Prosecutors said that from 2007 to 2016, Herbalife schemed to bribe Chinese officials with cash, entertainment, meals, and travel to obtain direct selling licenses for its Chinese subsidiary, reduce government scrutiny, and remove negative coverage by state-controlled media. The court documents said during that period, Herbalife obtained direct sale licenses in 28 Chinese provinces. Prosecutors said that by 2016, Herbalife's China business accounted for about 20%, $860 million, of the company's global annual net sales. Acting U.S. Attorney of the Southern District of New York, Audrey Strauss, said in a statement, Herbalife approved the extensive and systematic corrupt payments to Chinese government officials over a 10-year period to promote and expand Herbalife's business in China. Moreover, in an effort to conceal this widespread corruption scheme, Herbalife maintained false accounting records to mischaracterize these improper payments as permissible business expenses. The company will pay a $55 million criminal fine as well as $67 million to the SEC in a related civil case. Last November, U.S. prosecutors filed related corruption charges against Li Yanliang, who led Herbalife's Chinese unit, and Yang Hongwei, who led its external affairs department. Both are Chinese citizens and remain at large. 6 weeks earlier, Herbalife agreed to pay $20 million to settle SEC charges that it misled investors about its Chinese business. Court documents in the present case listed numerous instances wherein Li, Yang, or other unnamed Chinese executives allegedly arranged to have cash, some of it stuffed into red envelopes or gift vouchers, delivered to Chinese officials. For instance, in March 2007, Li and Yang were discussing whether to pay 35,000 yuan, $5,000, to officials at a government agency to reduce the risk of future penalties against Herbalife China. More than a month after a residential community in Urumqi City, Xinjiang, was put under closed management, some residential communities are still completely closed. Not only are the residential communities, stairways, and doors closed, but some residents have been arrested for opening the doors. On August 26th, a woman in Urumqi City, who asked not to be named, told the Epoch Times that the city was closed on the night of July 16th, and that now a few residential communities have been opened and residents can go downstairs.
People in one of the neighborhoods are ready to go downstairs today, but it's still very difficult for people to go out of the community. You need a permit. The outside and the corridor are all closed. There are even people on duty in the corridor. There are a lot of people who can't stand anymore. Some people shouted. Anyone shouting would get arrested. It's very tightly controlled. Whoever shouts or even opens the door just a crack would get arrested. None of them are infected. The nucleic acid test, we've taken it 3 times. All of a sudden, people are out of work. The economic burden is really heavy, and many ordinary people can't bear the pressure. Some of them live from paycheck to paycheck. Many of them do not have much savings. This epidemic has been going on ever since the beginning of the year, and they haven't worked a shift since then. In March, there was some relief, but people can't guarantee a job just because they want to. Moreover, there were not too many job opportunities in Xinjiang. In June and July, when people just went back to work, the epidemic came again, and commoners had no income for half a year. There are a lot of people who can't stand it anymore. Besides, some people may get ill from being locked inside for too long. It's not rare to have the police come and scold the elderly. Just 2 days ago, someone opened the door a crack and was taken away. The commoners are all timid and meek, who dare not stir up trouble. They sealed the door of the residential communities. Both unit doors and house doors are sealed. As long as you open the door, you'll be arrested. But community workers and their families do not have to abide by the lockdown rules. They even flagrantly violate the rules and do not wear masks. All the doors are sealed, but the big supermarkets are open. Who is it for? You can buy whatever you want, but the ordinary people have nothing. Only these community cadres and the like can go shopping. These people can. The supermarkets are open just for these people. The monopoly here is even more ridiculous. During the pandemic, all express delivery has been suspended, except the postal service. What's this for? It's not fair. The postal service is a national enterprise, so it can be a monopoly. On the 16th, the day of the lockdown, it was very crowded. It was scary. There were so many people in the supermarket that I couldn't help it. They scrambled for goods. The supermarket needed to drive people out at last and forbade them to get in. In all the places, watermelon, even raw watermelon, have all been snapped up. I got in line at 8 o'clock and I didn't check out until 3 a.m. It was crazy. It used to be $4 for a chicken, but now it's almost $9. Prices have gone up sharply, not just a bit. Before the epidemic, watermelons in Xinjiang cost 10 cents a kilogram. Now they cost 45 cents a kilogram. You can't buy it even if you have the money. You need to have connections. Ordinary people can't buy it. Many ordinary people can't afford to buy meat. Many people are trapped for so long with no income and the prices have gone up so sharply. It's certainly unbearable for most people.